Hey guys, Timeboy61, and today we're going to be taking a look at Battlefront 2 and its newest 1.1 patch. We're going to be going through all of the changes that are official and all of the unlisted changes as well, so if that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned. So like I said guys, we're going through the 1.1 patch notes for Battlefront 2, and let's dive right in. First off, new content. We got two new things. First off, Blast on Crate. Yes, TDM is coming to Crate. That's good. That's great. It's always good to get another map and another rotation. Awesome. Excellent. Great. Next up, Iden versus TIE. Well, it's kind of similar to a regular TIE fighter. It just costs a ton of money. So, anyways, its abilities. Afterburner. Gives Starfighter temporary speed boost and breaks enemy missile lock. Laser Barrage. Charged up rapid fire barrage, which deals high damage. Dual proton torpedoes. Fires 2 proton torpedoes, which track the locked target. And finally, Inferno Leader for the duration of Inferno Leader. All enemies within the radius are revealed to ally players. So that's really the only unique ability for this TIE. It costs you about 5,000 credits in-game to unlock. So it's either worth it or not worth it to you. I'm not too big of a fan, but hey, you know, maybe you are. Moving on to the heroes, we have our hero changes. First things first, Finn. Reduced base damage of his EL-16 from 65 to 45, big nerf there. Reduced the time before heat cooldown kicks in from 3.5 to 1.5 seconds, and reduced damage of each Deadeye shot from 40 to 30. Now Phasma, they reduced the heat generated per shot of her weapon. Lando, they fixed a bug where maximized efficiency was not properly granting cooldown reduction. And with Boba Fett, a big nerf here. They had already nerfed him fairly well, and I don't think this one was really warranted. But anyways, they reduced damage per rocket of Rocket Barrage from 90 to 78, reduced the inner damage radius of each rocket of Rocket Barrage from 2 to 1.5, and they reduced the outer damage radius of each Rocket Barrage from 4 to 3 meters. So basically, smaller explosions, less damage. On to classes and special unit changes. Reduce the Bowcaster center projectile damage multiplier from 1.3 to 1. Lowered the Bowcaster fall off distance at the start from 20 to 10 meters and at the end from 30 to 25 meters. They reshuffled the Bowcaster explosion damage and projectile damage to make fall off have a higher effect, and increased Bowcaster heat per shot. On the specialist, they reduced the size of the scope glint, and they added glint to the following long-range weapons: EL-16 HFE, A280, Pulse Rifle, and Captain Phasma's F-11D. They also reduced the heat per shot for the following long-range weapons, meaning you're going to get more shots out of each of the magazines: the Valken 38X, the E5S, the DLT-20A, the DLT-19X, the A180, and the DLT-19D. They also increased the burst per minute of all infiltration variants from 100 to 130, making that class way more effective in closer ranges. They reduced the AoE for the heavies. They reduced the AoE of the supercharged and explosive sentry, and they increased the heat per shot of the supercharged sentry from 0.015 to 0.017. And finally, the officer, they reduced the explosion damage when the turret is destroyed by blaster fire from 150 to 25. So a massive nerf there, meaning you won't get killed if you decide to kill a turret in close range. Now the following are the weapon changes. The CR2 gets a nerf, lowered the start damage from 17 to 16, lowered the end damage from 9 to 8, and reduced damage fall off end distance from 40 meters to 30 meters. Overall, the CR2, it's a weapon designed to be in close quarters, so you're going to be, if you're using this weapon effectively, you're going to be in those closer ranges. You are going to be in that 16 range, and it's still an effective little almost submachine gun feeling gun, but it is kind of sad to see them reducing the efficiency on it. Barrage, they reduced the inner blast radius from 3.5 to 2 meters, they increased the outer blast damage from 5 to 6 meters, and they increased explosion damage from 55 to 100. The Blurg, 1120. They reduced fall off start distance from 20 to 15 meters, reduced the start damage of explosive shot from 29 to 26. They reduced the end damage of the explosive shot from 10 to 8. They reduced the inner blast radius of the explosive shot from 0.8 to 0.7. They reduced the outer blast radius explosive shot from 2 to 1.8. And they reduced the accuracy of the final shots when the burst mod is equipped. For the trip mine, they increased the number of mines that can be deployed at the same time from 1 to 2, and they raised the time until the mines disappeared after death from 5 seconds to 15. So, those are all of the official patch notes, but now we're going to go into the unofficial patch notes, the ones that the community have been finding, and these are some of the biggest changes and some of the best changes, which is really weird that these are the things that aren't in the patch notes. So, going in, there are now snowtroopers on Crate. There is an ATST on Jakku for Phase 1. Speeders on Crate now cost 200. Requirements for purple level have been decreased on troopers, level 25 instead of the previous 50, and on heroes, level 20 instead of 25. Milestones, this is a huge change in, like, this, they should, hey, look, progression's a little bit easier for those of you who haven't made it all the way. Milestones for weapons in each class have been reduced to 50, 200, and then 400 as opposed to the previous 50, 200, 500. So 100 less kills needed to get the final weapon variant for thing. And then more importantly, the weapon mods milestones have been completely decreased to now 25 kills, 75 kills, and 150 kills, which is a huge reduction, meaning we are most likely going to see a lot more mods out there on the battlefield. Nighttime Mos Eisley has now been added. They removed the A-Wing from Mos Eisley being able to play that. New option to disable the HUD, but it keeps the scopes, which is awesome. When reinforcements become available, it'll state which type. So, for example, aerial available or bomber available. Like, you know what you can now buy with your points. Yoda can no longer block flamethrowers. On the first phase of Starkiller Base, more of the map is out of bounds to the First Order, so they can't run over to the Resistance spawn. They reduce the amount of battle points gained from using speeders. They fix the bug where you can go inside of objectives on Jakku, thereby like pretty much breaking the game. The perimeter for securing areas on Phase 2 of Kamino has been reduced. If you press A or X, depending on your console, you can now claim loot from the career tab. Takes one of Kylo's poses in the top 5 screen. Previously, his lightsaber was just off, which is kind of weird. Phasma's blaster sound has been different. Overlord on Enforcer units now has lower recoil. It seems that the AET was nerfed. There doesn't seem to have as much splash damage. The amount of battle points earned from the ATST got reduced. The ARC 170 laser cannons now have the same sound as TIE Fighter cannons. And if you complete a milestone in-game, you'll get a pop-up notification. So a ton of changes, and I think most importantly, those milestone changes. That is incredible. That is crazy, the fact of how much they are reducing the cost for the mods, making weapon progression seem a lot snappier, a lot quicker, and it makes sense because now if you play with just the first weapon and you play through it completely, by the time you unlock the next gun, you will have completed all of the mods for that one. Same thing with the second level of gun, you'll only have like 100 kills left to go. So it's a very smart system because it allows you to basically master a weapon, then move on to the next one. Master a weapon, move on to the next one, which I really like, and that's what this game needed. So guys, overall, those are the patch notes and changes for 1.1. What did you think? What is your favorite changes, or what changes do you want to see in Battlefront 2? Let me know down below, guys. If you like this video, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, follow me over on Twitter, over on Instagram. Those are great platforms as well. Guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.